Here's how to make your own video collage. Okay, you're going to start with whatever footage you want to use. If you don't have anything, you can go to a place like Pexels, which offers free videos to download. They're high quality, very colorful. I like to get a lot of my videos from there for my projects. And you want to look for videos that have a lot of color that you can key out, and so that one's a good one with the sky being blue. We have another one over here. That sky would key out really nicely. You want to look for like chunks of color that you can remove so that you can layer the videos more easily. This one might be a good one if you could play with the color a little bit. And yeah, so you just want to look for things that you're drawn to, things that are going to work for your background. And here are some things that I've downloaded in the past, and we're just going to take a couple of these and create a new piece. I went ahead and brought all of my footage, textures, and stills into my video editor. I'm using Premiere Pro, and what I'm doing right now is I'm changing the dimensions of the video I'm making so that it'll fit for social media. So I made it 1080 by 1920. And then I went ahead and dragged in my first video, and I'm going to go ahead and just roughly place all of my footage and stills where I want them. I'm not going to do any of the textures just yet, but I'm just going to kind of get an idea of where I want some of this stuff. And you can use any editor you would like as long as you can key out. You want to be able to color key or chroma key or luma key. So as long as your editor has those options, you can do this tutorial. And what I'm doing right now is, before I take any of the backgrounds out, I like to kind of play with the color of the video a little bit. I like to increase contrast. Here I am using the hue versus saturation tool to kind of create more of a contrast between the background and the subject. That makes it easier to pull the background when I'm ready. And so if you want to go through wherever your coloring area is in your editor and just kind of play with things a little bit, even if you don't know what you're doing. I didn't know what I was doing at first. I just went through and just played with stuff. All right, after you've done your coloring, what you want to do now, go to the area in your editor where you can key things out. And we're going to focus on Ultra Key, Chroma Key, and Color Key. Go ahead and choose Color Key for this one. I use that one probably the most. You're going to get the Color Select tool, select the background or whatever color you want to remove. And then we're going to start playing with the color tolerance. Start dragging it over. That will start removing your color. And we only want to do it so much as to not remove our subject. And so we're going to repeat this process over and over again until the background is completely removed. Keep selecting different colors, play with the color tolerance, move on, do the next one. And then you're going to keep going. You might have to do this one time. Sometimes you have to do it 5 or 6 times. Sometimes you just chose the wrong image to do this with, and maybe you have to go back to the drawing board and get a different one. So we went ahead and removed the sky on this one. It's looking pretty good. So we'll go ahead and move to the next one. And I'm going to go ahead and put a texture on this one. I'm going to put it on top at first just so I can rotate it. And I want to show you guys the different blending modes. So go ahead and take this texture and I want you to drag it to the bottom of all of your layers. Select the video above the texture. And then we're going to play with the blending mode on this layer. So when it comes to your blending modes, you just want to kind of play with them and see which ones are going to work with the project you're working on currently, because you'll end up using different ones for different projects. Some of my go-tos are going to be screen, overlay, color dodge. So let's go ahead and try some of those and see what we think. Okay, I think I like the color dodge. It's a little dark, but let's see. What else do we have here? Lighten. And just kind of scroll through, see what you like, what you don't. Some of them won't work at all. But I think I'm going to go with the color dodge. I think I like that the most. And even though it's a little dark, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that layer. I'm going to create a duplicate. I'm going to place it on top of the other one. And I'm going to change the blending mode to one of these, to something lighter. So let's play with it and see what it looks like. Okay, I think I like the lighten, but I'm going to switch these around and see what it looks like. See if I like it better. Yeah, that's much better. So yeah, play with the layers, play with what order they're in, And then I'm going to add another texture on top. I'm going to use the same one that I used on the bottom. And then I'm going to play with the blending modes again until I find one that I like. And I like the screen, and then I'm going to turn down the opacity a little bit. And it feels incomplete, so I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to put this one on top. And this one will color key out really nicely because it has a nice red background. It's almost like a green screen. So we're just going to repeat the process from before, choosing color key, selecting the color we want to remove, and then playing with the tolerance. There is a little bit of red in her skin, so I'm going to have to repeat this process a couple of times. And we're going to go ahead and turn off the layer on top because that's going to affect how we're pulling out the background. It'll make it easier if we just mute that layer for just a second. Now you just want to play with sizing and placement and get it exactly where you'd like it. And now we can go ahead and reactivate that top layer, that texture, and that'll just help blend all of the layers together. I think our collage needs something. I'm going to go ahead and add a frame to this one. And we're going to change the scale of this, but we have to turn off the uniform scale. And now you can just play with the height and the width until you get it to a place you like. I'm going to use the inside frame of this one. I don't want to use the thick part of it. I'm going to use the thin part and just stretch it to your liking. And then we're going to go ahead and color key out the white part of this. So just repeat the process from before. And I can just never get enough texture in my video. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in another paper texture and stick it on top of everything. And this will also help kind of blend everything together and give it kind of a uniform look. When it comes to your textures, you want to play with the blending modes again, see which one works best. It really could be different each time, so go ahead and play with that, see what you like and see what works, and then go ahead and play with the opacity, get it to a place where you like it. So here's another trick to kind of create some uniformity between all of the videos that you've collaged together. You're going to create an adjustment layer in your video editor, and you do this in Premiere by going into this space here, right-clicking, and then you're going to find the new item adjustment layer. And then you're going to make sure it has the same dimensions as the piece you're creating, and it does here. So we're going to click OK. I want to drag that on top of everything. Select that layer, and then we're going to go into our wherever you can color and start playing with the color. So we're in Lumetri Color in Premiere, and I'm just going to start going through all these sections and clicking different colors that I'm drawn to, different filters, and seeing what works. If you don't know what you're doing, just start playing with it. And we just want to create whatever kind of color scheme we're drawn to. Sometimes I'll go into red, green, or blue, and I'll just do an extreme drag and see which one I like the best. So drag something up, drag something down, and we see that there's harsh colors here, and it just kind of lets my brain know where everything is, and then I kind of like play with it a little bit and get it to where I like it so it's not as extreme. And yeah, so in your video editor, wherever the coloring area is, you just want to kind of play with it and see what you like and what works and what blends everything together. Sometimes I don't like stuff to blend together. I like it to be in huge contrast and different colors, and it really depends on what your style is and what you're looking for. You can also play with timing. I like to go in and increase and decrease the speed of the footage to kind of give it a weird, surreal vibe. So don't be afraid to just experiment with whatever tools you have at your disposal. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you'd like to see, and what I can do to improve it for you guys. Thank you so much. This is Spider Theory. Have a good day.